My name is Romania Dukes. I was raised right here in Miami, Florida. I grew up right across the street in those housing project, Chocolate City, that's now called Arthur Mays Village. It was fun. It was always somebody having parties. And what I mean by parties was like birthday parties. Everybody got invited to. Everybody was having fun. We always had that big mama, community mom, a grandma, where if we was fighting or something like that, that individual would come and take us home and say they was out there fighting to our parents or whatever. And that was love. Like we had that community love. There was no killing. There was no shooting back then. And I became pregnant at the age of 18. And by the time I was 19, I think I was on my second child. Where then I got married to my kid's father. We ended up having 5 kids together. I say I was a good mother. I was an awesome mother. It was just being married was the problem. You know, when we used to have the domestic violence before, the kids were like, "Don't hit my mom," stop. And at this particular time, they didn't say that. So I knew they had been affected by it. And I was affected by it because they was affected by it. And I just remember grabbing my kids, all 5 of them, and leaving. And I never looked back. To this day, I never look back. So I did the best I can. I moved a lot. We had just moved in this area to Goulds. And we just went to visit my cousin. So DeMichael would sit on the stairway with other friends. And he was like, "Mom, I'm just gonna, practice on some beats." He was an inspired rapper. He loved music, he loved rapping. So me and my daughter, and my cousin, we was all in the house just talking. My cousin was cooking dinner at the time. We just heard a loud gunshot. And I looked at my cousin and I said, "That sounded like that was right in your hallway." And at the same time, we said, "Go get DeMichael." When I got to the door, all I was faced with was black smoke. And then when it started to come clear, I see my son's shoe, which was a Nike shoe, a slide, on the ground. And then I see DeMichael laying on the ground and my daughter screaming, my cousin screaming. And I'm looking around. I don't see any blood or anything like that. And I'm just saying, hold on, DeMichael, they coming. And I was saying that because we was right behind the police station, right behind it. And its departments are one way to get in. It's like a horseshoe, one way in, one way out. The clinic is right across the street, maybe a minute and a half away. No one was coming. It seemed like forever. And I had family members and friends coming from Homestead to Florida City there like within minutes. And my son's still there. I'm like, just hold on. And then I remember 2 young officers arriving and they just stand against the wall, didn't try to help my son or anything like that. Of course, I was angry. I was upset. I was cussing at them because of that moment. But later I understood, and from my training, I knew that they couldn't touch my son. But at that time, I just thought a little compassion would have helped. I think about 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes, that seemed like 45 minutes, rescue came and tried to revive my son. So when paramedics come revive him, I seen them put the yellow tape over him. And at that time, it didn't dawn on me that my son had passed away. Every day I cry. there's no expiration date on our pain. And I want the world to know that, like, we never gonna be okay. And I want people to know, I know there's nothing you could tell us or say to us, but just be honest with us. Don't pat me on the shoulder, say, I know how you feel. No, you don't know how I feel. Don't pat me on the shoulder and say it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be okay. It's never gonna be okay. And I just said to myself that I have to do something. I want to do something. I don't know what or how I'm going to do it. I have the strength to do it. So I just started getting involved in a lot of things. And I think the first thing was March for Our Lives. And coming from my community, that it was like I was getting hated on because, it wasn't our fight per se. And for me as a mother who lost a child, it was my fight. No matter if you black, white, or whatever, I'm going to fight with those moms. And I came up with Mothers Fighting for Justice, and just attending the Women's March, Moms Demand Action March, the Parkland March. Every march, I'm there. Even the day-to-day shooting that occur in Miami, when they have marches, I'm there. I'm coming way from Homestead to get there to support those moms. And that's what I do. And I'm not only doing this for DeMichael. I'm doing it for all our loved ones, the ones that's here, the ones that passed away. And I spoke this a couple of years ago with Commissioner Dr. Dennis Moss at the time about having something for us moms for the South where we could go and celebrate our kids for their heavenly anniversary or their heavenly birthday. So that's when I started the billboard. It's called Mothers Fighting for Justice, Enough is Enough, where I had partnered with Crime Stoppers. And my idea was to get those kids' pictures whose name and voices wasn't being heard. And I end up with 357 names. Now I'm on my third billboard, and I'm gonna continue to do the billboard because it's gonna feature 10 kids. So that's my way to get into 357. If I have to do that till I'm old and gray, I'm gonna do that. They're gonna see these billboards all over Miami-Dade and Broward County. Some of our kids are dealing with PTSD, and they don't even know it. We have mothers that's dealing with that and don't even know it. I'm dealing with that. And it's because it's no outlet. It's not enough programs here. One is because we from Miami-Dade, with this the South End. So we get overlooked a lot when it comes to funding and having programs and having these different things. So they suffer and we suffer. So that's why I use my organization to try to change that. I will go in different hotspots of this community and grab kids. And these are kids that don't like each other because this one live in Goulds or this one stay in Homestead. But once I get them on this bus to go to a Marlins game for the first time, a Miami Heat game for the first time, going to the museum or the zoo. These are good experiences that they never experienced because they always used to violence and gun violence within the community. So they had been suffered for. So for me to get my organization and partner with other organizations, say, hey, let's get these kids, let's give them this one day of happiness. And those are some of the most amazing groups that I'm with, which is Moms Demand Action, Parents of Murdered Kids, Survivors Speak, Together for Children. We all united. Parkland moms, Orlando's moms, Miami moms, like we all united together for one cause, and that's to end gun violence and bring gun violence awareness to all our communities. It was a retreat called the Circle of Mothers with Sabrina Fulton, the Trayvon Martin Foundation. I'm fortunate enough, I've been able to attend for 7 years, And we look forward to going there because it's such a healing experience, empowerment, where she get mothers from all over the state, and we all come together for this retreat for the weekend. And we talk about healing and supporting each other, and how to cope. Um, and that's when I get able to be myself, and let loose a little bit and tell my story a little further than how I normally tell it. So that's what that retreat was all about, just healing and getting to know one another, and not be angry, but just show it by the actions of helping your community and helping another mom. Our arms are always open. Feel free to come join us. It doesn't make you soft or anything like that, because I think that's what some of the kids are afraid of. They worry about what their peers may say. No, you come join this walk. You walking for yourself. You walking for your brothers and sisters. You walking for your friends that's in your community.